of you, here we begin with the third class for assessment procedure. Okay. Assessment procedure actually is very huge. If you take all put together, that is the basic assessment procedure which we have completed. Continuing with the assessment procedure is your appeals and revisions. Once you have done with this, you can go for appeals and revisions. Then continuing more, apply to High Court and Supreme Court. Then there could be raid cases, survey. So assessment procedure, basically we have broken it into three parts, and first part we have completed in the last two class. That is your routine assessment, which is done in 143.1 and you get the acknowledgement. Your scrutiny assessment, which is done in 143.3. If you don't file the return, then best judgment assessment with the department will do in 144. So related to this exam oriented, very important is what are the reasons when your case will go for scrutiny. So either you have undershown your income or overshown your expenses and losses, like that. When the case will go for best judgment, when you are not responding, you are not filing the return, they are asking you to get the books of accounts audited, you are not getting, like that. Last class we have completed two things. One is dispute resolution panel. So related to that also, the way they are asking the questions, that's what is today's class. I have finished assessment procedure explanation in two classes, highlighting the points which are important for MCQs. Today's class is Q&As, how they are going to ask. And because this is not problems what we have solved for trust, it's not that. So what I have done is, most of the answers, if you see our material, I have printed the answers also along with the question itself, so that you know how to present your answer. But one thing, they are answering in paragraphs. If you want, you can answer in point. With the same black ball point with which you are writing the exam, you can underline the important points. Okay, right? So let us begin with the Q&As. Acha, one more thing, let us revise once the DRP also. Dispute resolution panel is a group of 3 commissioners coming together, and in case of transfer pricing or some assessment which is to be done for non-resident companies or any NRI, the SSAO is asking the SSE that I want to do the judgment like this. Okay, if you have objection, let me know within 7 days to 30 days. So actually, before assessing the income in case of transfer pricing, the AO is asking the SSE ki I am willing to do the assessment this way. If you have objection, tell me within 7 to 30 days. Now the SSE, either he may not respond till 30 days, or he may respond and he say, okay, we are agreed. Go ahead. AO will pass the assessment order. Suppose if the SSE objects, he says, no, in this case of transfer pricing, you asked me to follow this method, this method, blah, blah, whatever. Then this case will go to the dispute resolution panel. 9 months time will be given to DRP, where he will check all the information of SSE. He will check all the details from AO. He will do further scrutiny. He can call for further information. And within 9 months, he will come up with a conclusion. Okay, in this case, DRP will issue guidelines to the AO. Final assessment will be done by AO only. But tell me, is DRP's guidelines mandatory, or is the AO strictly required to abide by the guidelines? Answer is yes. Can SSE argue, no, we were not only agreeing with the AO, DRP aap to aur income bada de rahe, we don't agree, like that? No. SSE cannot argue with the guidelines of the DRP, but definitely based on the guidelines of the DRP, what decision AO is taking, against that he can go for appeals to ITET for revision, higher authorities, appeal ITET and High Court and Supreme Court, he can go. So like this, I have given you one full page, very brief notes of DRP. Write a short note on DRP, or small procedural part can be asked. Okay, that's why this theory is broken into 3 parts, because we know ki DRP is like, this chapter is like that ki they are asking theory questions, and I think today what we are discussing is more than a list of 20 says other 23 questions I have selected which are repeatedly being asked in exam, and based on that we will revise this. Before, tell me, is this way I'm revising clear to all of you? Is it fitting, or you want the screen to be on? I will add on the screen also. Where we have closed last time is this 147. Whenever the AO has a doubt, okay, that income has escaped assessment, then he can issue a notice. For 147 assessment, notice is to be issued in 148. And for issuing the notice in 148, you have to follow the procedure of 148A. Procedure of 148A, within the time limit you have to issue the notice, that is 3 years. Or if the income which has escaped assessment exceeds 50 lakhs, then within the next 10 years. Okay, from that year. And whenever you assess the income and all from here, you have to take the permission of the higher authority for issuing notice for 148, 148A. Now, what are those higher authorities? Top authorities above the AO. PCCIT, Principal Commissioner, Commissioners, and so on. Now listen all of you, when I said for 147 assessment, issue notice in 148. For 148A, follow the procedure. Then what is that procedure? Here it is. AO will conduct an inquiry because he should have a proof that some income has escaped assessment. Are you all getting? AO should have the proof that income has escaped assessment, then only you can enter section 147. So he will conduct an inquiry. Then he will provide an opportunity to SSE. This is called as show cause notice. Yera. Show cause notice is why I should not send you a notice of 148 to file the return. But sir, I have already filed the return. Fir se file karo. Because you have income escaping assessment. So file the return again. Okay? Right. So why he should not issue the notice of 148, and he is giving opportunity of being heard to SSE. So within 7 to 30 days ka notice time mein SSE should reply. Okay. And 1 month from the end of the month in which notice is served, he is ready now to issue the notice. So before the notice, what is the first step? Conduct the inquiry. What is the next step? Provide opportunity of being heard to SSE why he should not issue the notice. Okay. Once this is done, come back and issue the notice. Acha, while you issue the notice, you actually ask the SSE to file return again. Ma'am, but due date is over 138 8 जो नया है updated return का time सब तो हो गया है. Then also you have to file the return for 3 years, in some cases 10 years. Okay, right. Whenever income escaping assessment is open, let me tell you, the raid case and the survey case also, the assessment is done here. So whenever you assess an income under 147, sure the SSE is having some income which he has hidden. So this is a theory question and lot of chances of getting this in exam. Mark it, very important. And last time in the last class, I have given you time to write. If these points are not there, look into your page number. Are you able to check where I am reading? And if these points are not there, you can write. What are these points? Check. Prior information AO should have that income has escaped assessment. तो information कहाँ से मिलेगा? Risk management strategy. That is, that specified financial transactions are reported in annual information statement and all that. Second is CNAG. While doing the audit, he will say, okay, so and so case, this much income is hidden because they are spending so much, where from they are getting income. Or some transaction which is reported in DTA, or tax audit report under section 135. In tax audit report, the AO is getting information that some income has escaped assessment, or an information requires action consequence of the order of the tribunal or court. ट्रिब्यूनल और कोर्ट के कोई ऑर्डर से पता चल रहा है, तो these are the 5 cases on basis of which AO is sure to issue you a notice. Okay, right. Cases where it is deemed that AO is having information, no need to go for 148A procedures, जरूरत ही नहीं है. Deemed है कि income escaping assessment है, when books of accounts and others are requisition, मतलब एसएससी के पास रेड हुआ है और एसएससी का सर्वे हुआ है अदर देन टीडीएस टीसीएस सर्वे, और it is raid and survey of other person, but lot of assets and all are seized for SSC, or there is raid of other person, but lot of information and books of accounts and all are recovered for SSC. Are the 4 cases clear? What are the cases where AO doesn't need solid fact? It already has the solid facts. When SSC's books of accounts are audited, when SSC's books of accounts survey is happening, when some other SSC's books of accounts are audited, and in his raid case, SSC's assets and unexplained assets and all are disclosed, or others' books of accounts are gone for raid and all, and in his books, some information is recovered for the SSC. Clear? Right. So these are the cases wherein it is not required. Everywhere you need for 147 assessment, it is mandatory to have the permission of the specified authority, that is the higher authority. Okay. So now let us see what is the time limit for issuing the notice. 3 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. So what is our financial year right now? 20 to 23. What is assessment year? 23-24. यहाँ से plus 3 years. From March 24 plus 3 years. March 25, March 26, 31st March 27 tak you can issue notice under 148 to reassess the income of this year. If the income which has escaped assessment, mark it very important for MCQs, is exceeding 50 lakhs. I'm doing, this is all revision of the last class. Q&As abhi shuru karenge hum. Yes. Now, if the income escaped assessment has exceeded 50 lakhs, then instead of 3 years notice can be sent in 10 years and block assessment can be made in 10 years. Okay, right. In that 3 years and 10 years, some time limit will be extended if the case is going for settlement commission. या कहीं कुछ अगर delay हो रहा है, so that much time will be given. Okay, every time they are saying when you want to assess the income in 147, take the permission of higher authorities. Who are higher authorities? Up to 3 years के base में principal commissioner, principal director and all. More than 3 years, principal chief commissioner, principal director general and so on. This has also gone faceless. Okay, I may be assessing income of last 3 years or 10 years. At what rate I have to assess? Not at this year's rate. Suppose in financial year 22-23, your income escaping assessment of 18-19 का reassessment चल रहा है. So you have to put the tax rate of 18-19. It would have been charged in that year. That tax rate. Okay. This is short question likable to be asked in exam. When can reassessment proceedings be dropped? We wanted to reassess the income in 147 because we are sure that some income has hidden. Okay. So in these cases, when reassessment proceedings can be dropped, means they have raised 147 but now it is dropped. Why it will happen? If the SSC has not opposed any part of original assessment for that year, either in 246 to 248 or 264, means already some revision order or some other kind of assessment is going on. So obviously 147 is not applicable to cases which have already gone for revision orders, to commissioners or commissioner appeals or ITET or Supreme Court or High Court. They are not going to open. And it shows that he has been assessed an amount or two, some not lower than he would be liable to pay if income has, whatever tax he was liable to pay here, more than that he has paid the tax. And already his assessment is done or going on in the higher people's authority. So why would you reopen the case? Drop the case. Am I going fast or clear? Can you all message if this is detailed, done in the last class? If you have missed the last class, watch that video and then attend the Q&As, what I'm doing now. All right, last 2-3 classes, whatever we have done, this summary is important for MCQs. Yeah, let us see. Summary assessment means just the intimation 9 months from the end of the financial year in which return of income is filed. 9 months from the end of the financial year in which return is filed, then you will get the intimation. Notice of scrutiny 3 months from the end of financial year in which return is filed. Financial year 22-23. Return is filed in July 23. So 23-24 is over. 30 June 24 tak, they can send you 3 months after the end of the assessment year. They can send you the notice for scrutiny, and scrutiny will be over in 9 months, 31st December 2024. If you have missed writing, write the dates now. By 31st December 2024, your scrutiny assessment will be over. 147 के लिए 149 notice can be given in 3 years, sometimes 10 years. That I already told you. And assessment is done within 12 months from the end of the financial year. And once you have issued the notice of 148, say you have issued the notice in 31st October 23. So 12 months from the end of the financial year 24. So March 25 tak over and out. The income escaping assessment का पूरा assessment खत्म हो जाना है. Okay, right. Clear? Time to exclude this, just give R for reading. Whenever your case is going for scrutiny and all, you have to do it within the time. But if time is going कि चलो बीच में books of accounts audit कराओ, okay, or you are going for some valuation officer, हाँ, कुछ property value कराओ. So, sometimes if you go like this, whatever period is going like that, that period will be excluded. Okay, right. All right, protective assessment, I said income will be assessed in one hand. Write it, important for short note. Read it. ये last class में कराया था. These two are, I feel, pumping hearts. इन पे बहुत question आते हैं. Can you just read it on your own? 2 minutes, I'll be back. खुद से पढ़ो. And any doubt you have, asked me. So these two sections are very important. Frankly speaking, पढ़ा आपने 292B and 292BB. These are related to notice. Whenever you have to collect the tax and all, you have to issue notice. So this is covered in some other topic. But why is it very relevant for the assessment procedure? Because for assessment also you have to send the notice. Notice has to be in writing and in proper time and all. So let us see what this is talking. Return of income not to be valid on certain grounds. Okay. 292B. No return of income assessment notice, summons or proceedings furnished or purported have been furnished or made issued in persons of any shall be invalid merely by reason of mistake, defect or omission in the returns and all. Okay. Clerical mistake. So what happened? Say I filed my return of income and I got intimation from department in the name of Miss Dipti. My name is Mrs. Dipti Chheda. So suppose my name is written wrong, can I say ye mera order nahi hai? I will not go ahead with all this. So if there is a clerical mistake from the department side or in the notice or in the assessment, you cannot just make it as time bad ki nahi ye to galat hai. If there is a clerical mistake, both the sides you are, see, as we are given the opportunity, to file the return of income, revised return and all, they also have got the opportunity. So you cannot just say that it is invalid merely by that reason. Okay, right. Next is 292BB. Notice deemed to be valid. This is, please mark it important, 2 to 3 times they have asked question on this. And generally I don't stress much on the sections, but this one is important, 292BB. It is very simple. First listen carefully. Just listen. It is very interesting also, otherwise also. See, 292BB is saying, suppose the notice is not served in proper format, or notice is not served in proper time, or whatever it is, but whenever you receive the notice, as an SSC you responded and your assessment is completed. Then can later on you say, sir, my assessment is invalid because notice hi theek nahi tha. Just now I told you scrutiny notice when it should be given. From the end of the relevant assessment year, 3 months. Financial year 22-23. Assessment year 23-24. March 24 से 3 months. June 24. By mistake, 6th of July 24, they are sending you scrutiny. As soon as you got scrutiny notice, meet us on this day, ye, wo, sab. So you to responded to the notice. And your assessment was very well done, nicely in 143.3. Scrutiny assessment khatam ho gaya. Then can you say, sir, scrutiny notice is invalid kyunki the notice was only not. So answer is no. Unless one exam, I remember they have asked the question, the notice was only not sent and then they did the assessment. Is that assessment valid? Answer is no. It is mandatory to issue the notice now. For 143.3 scrutiny notice, 143.2 notice dena hai. 147 का assessment करना है तो 148 में notice if it is having mistake, it is accepted in 292BB. But if notice is not issued only, so like this very beautiful questions we are going to discuss now. Just read this one and then we will continue. Give some response in the chat box if this is all clear or not. See, read. The language is also so beautiful. When an assessee has appeared in any proceedings or cooperated in inquiry, it shall be deemed that any notice which is required to be served has been duly served upon him in time, in accordance with the provisions of the Act. And such assessee shall be precluded from any objections that notice was not served upon him. मुझे तो दिए ही नहीं, मेरे neighbor के घर में जाके notice दी, or it was not served on time, or served upon him in an improper manner. However, aforesaid provision is not applicable where SSE has raised objection before the completion of assessment. Just you received the notice and you objected. No problem. Your objection is valid. Are you getting how I am reading? Can I start with the Q&As? Ready to go? Assessment procedure is a small topic, but Q&As थोड़ा detail में अच्छे से करेंगे. Okay? Shall we start with the first one? Assessment of SB, and these are past exam questions. I have not even changed the names and all. As it is, I have given, because language अगर कहीं लग रहा है तो ये ऐसा ही है. ठीक है? Assessment of SBC Limited was completed in 143.3. 143.3 scrutiny and notice of demand. Acha, 1 minute. 156 is also shifted. One second. You know, whenever your assessment is done, reassessment is done, in scrutiny, in best judgment, in income, they may ask you to pay extra tax. So that extra tax, they will give you a demand of notice under 156 section, and they'll ask you to pay within 30 days. If they have a doubt that this person will run out of India, never to come back, they may give you the lesser time also. So suppose if the department has given you notice of demand to pay the tax within 20 days, and if you don't pay the tax from 21st day, 1% per month or part of month, interest will start. Okay. So 156 section, you should know what it is. Chalo. Now, suppose assessment is already completed in 143.3. Notice of demand was issued for 13 lakh, requiring the company to pay the tax. On appeal before Commissioner Appeals, the demand was reduced to 10 lakhs. Is the AO required to issue a fresh notice of demand? Already 13 lakhs they have issued the demand, but we went to Commissioner Appeals. और कमिश्नर अपील से फाइट करके we reduced 10 lakhs. So now the notice of demand is not 13 lakhs, it is 10 lakhs. So they are asking, should a fresh notice be issued? Answer is no. No need to issue a fresh notice. Is it clear to all of you? Huh? Suppose if the commissioner appeals enhance the income, okay, और income बढ़ा दिया आपका 13 lakhs, they had given you the notice, you went to commissioner said no, you have not even paid tax on this, and you should now pay the tax 15 lakhs. So for plus 2 lakhs, do they need to issue further notice? Answer is yes. No fresh answer. This is the answer. So ये आपका आंसर है, बढ़ो इसमें. No fresh notice of demand is served. AO is only required to give an intimation of the fact of reduction of demand, and the proceeding initiated on the basis of original notice of demand may be continued. A fresh notice of demand has to be given only in respect of 2 lakhs. 13 की जगह अगर 15 lakhs they are demanding the tax, they will give the notice of 2 lakhs more. Okay, simple. Time limit for issue of the notice 143.3 scrutiny notice 30 June 2024 तक देना है. Just now I revised for all of you. Start limited file return of income on 6 June 23. The return is selected for regular assessment. Okay, and yeah, the company responded to notice, and notice should be given by 30 June 24. यहाँ पे लिखो ना please. Last date for notice 3 months from the end of the assessment year, so 30 June 24, but they gave the notice on 23rd July. Company responded also to notice. State whether the notice served in time. No, it is not served in time. And if not, whether assessment order can be challenged by SSC. No, it cannot be challenged. Agreed है कि notice late दिए, but the SSC responded, no, and the assessment is over also. Then why now? So under section 143(2), notice should be served within 3 months from the end. This is the fact principle. Notice for service shall be served on 30 June. However, AO served in July. Under section 292BB, since company has responded to the wrong notice, it can be assumed that 292BB applies, and hence the company is precluded from objecting that notice was not served on time. The company can challenge the validity of the notice. However, as per section 292BB, where an assessee had appeared in any proceeding or cooperated in any inquiry, it shall be deemed that notice required to be served has duly been served, and such assessee shall be precluded from raising any objective. ठीक है, same thing. So whatever objective they have raised, validity, हाँ, non-service है, तो फिर you can raise the objection. In the objection of such, in the absence of objection, assessment cannot be challenged. Did you get the meaning? Shall I explain orally? Same. They said they have served the notice late. You responded. Now, can you challenge the assessment? Answer is no. Notice was served late, but we responded, and the assessment is over. So it's right. No problem. हाँ, We can challenge the assessment if notice was only not served and directly the assessment was done. Everywhere I have been telling you in the assessment procedure that opportunity of being heard is to be given. Opportunity of being heard is to be given. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Is my speed fine? And the way this is a bonus class, I could have said ये question answer है, पढ़ लेना, कोई doubt है तो पूछ लेना और हम आज नया शुरू कर सकते थे. The next topic is like the pumping heart of the CMA final exam. 15 marks weightage compulsory question asked, that is math. Math we are starting tomorrow, a practical topic. Then we will go to the appeals revisions or बाकी वाला assessment procedure. पर आप पहले बोलो. The way I am reading and explaining, is this clear? And you still read at home and you come up, ma'am, in 1 to 23, this question, you want re-explanation or whatever it is. ठीक है? Yeah. All right. Let us read the third question. Nargis, a resident of India, owned for the financial year March 23 a house property in London, a shop in Sydney, a space in New York. She's also having a signing authority in bank in London. She has been served notice under 148 for assessment year 16-17 Purana. She, for reason of challenging the action of you for notice under section 148, seeks your opinion. Okay. July 22, change the date please. Abhi, our financial year is 20 to 23. So July 22, she served notice. And she's been served notice for very old assessment year, 16-17. Now take a pause. 20 to 23, I can issue the notice minus 3 years. Only if the income escaping assessment exceeds 50 lakhs, or if the person has signing authority outside India, then I can go minus 10 years. अब ये 16-17 मतलब तो 3 साल पुराना reassessment they want to do. Are they allowed to do? Answer is yes. Where income escaping assessment relates to any assets, including financial interest located outside India. If you have any finance, you remember return of income topic. If you have signing authority outside India, or if you have an asset outside India, it is mandatory to file the return. Yes. So if this is where income escaping assessment 147, including financial interest means partnership mein kahin share, is located outside India, notice under 148 can be issued 10 years, 10 saal tak. So okay, July 22 means July 2012, 12-13 ke year se you can issue the notice. In above case, if the notice 148 served on SSE is in relation to asset located outside India, such a notice is valid. Take your time. I am explaining in my way, then I am reading word to word, and 2 minutes time I am giving you. Check the gist, so that you are able to write. Yeah. Please unmute and speak up if you have any doubt. I am here to answer. Don't worry that recording is going on. And let the teacher decide whether your doubt is silly or not. You should ask doubt. आप बिल्कुल पूछो जो doubt है. Chalo. Yes, all clear. Next. This one is also 2-3 times asked, and this I have explained. I don't know, some students, if you have missed the assessment procedure 147 या अटेंड करके नहीं पढ़ा तो कैसे समझ में आएगा. Fourth question I'll just explain you orally. It's very interesting. Suppose we have income escaping assessment for the year 1670 and we have issued a reassessment notice कि 1617 में this income has escaped assessment. Some 10 lakh rupees you have not shown, like that. We have all the facts. Without that, you cannot do 147 assessment. And we have issued notice that so and so income is escaped assessment. But when we gave opportunity of being heard to SSE, SSE proved that this income has not escaped assessment. This was already paid taxed earlier and then something. So that case was dropped. समझ में आ रहा है? AO said this is your income escaping assessment. SSC proved that no, we have already paid. This is dropped. But while doing the assessment for that year, they came to know about some other income where you have claimed exemption under section 10 and all, and you are not eligible. Maybe वो SCZ है, DTA, like that. So what I'm saying is, we issued the notice to SSE saying A matter has escaped assessment. SSE said no, A matter तो I have already paid tax. अच्छा listen, A नहीं but B तो escape हुआ है, B के ऊपर tax pay करो. In short, in the same notice, can AO assess other income which has escaped assessment and it is not covered in the notice? Notice में we said only this has escaped assessment, but while we were assessing, we came to know उसको तो ठीक है छोड़ो, this has escaped assessment. Can we drop the original matter and can we add on other income? Answer is yes. But promise it has to be of the same year. Okay? What I'm saying, if it is not clear and if you want a booster note for it, message me. If you message me, I'll give. Otherwise, I think it's clear. और एक मैं केस बताती हूँ. Suppose income has escaped assessment. We have got the notice that your income has escaped assessment for 16 and 17. While assessing our income, department came to know, oh, 18, 19, 19, 20 also income has escaped. Can they add on that also? Answer is no. For notice is issued only for 16, 17. If you want to add on income of 18, 19, 19, 20, issue a fresh notice. So the gist is, for the same year, while you are doing reassessment of income escaping assessment, for this year, other incomes can be added. But for other years, you have to issue a fresh notice. What I have explained now, you all read it here. पढ़ो एक बार खुद से, check no? Check whether it is clear or not. Dishant received a notice 21-22 on the ground that depreciation on certain assets was allowed in excess. Zada. The AO recorded the reason. The original assessment was completed. In course of reassessment, the AO also disallowed certain sum under 14A in respect of expenses related to dividend income. कुछ और भी disallow कर दिया है. However, AO did not record the reason for applying provisions of 147 for 14A and passed the order. Depreciation के लिए तो excess depreciation के लिए तो they gave us notice, but not for the second one. AO may examine and assess or reassess any issue related to income which comes to his notice subsequently in the course of proceeding under this section, notwithstanding that reason for such issue has not been included in the reason recorded. Language is important. AO may examine, he may assess or reassess any issue related to income which comes to his notice subsequently in the course of proceeding, notwithstanding that reason for such issue has not been included. 148 में जो नोटिस भेजे उसमें तो ये था ही नहीं, सिर्फ डेप्रिसिएशन था, सेक्शन 14 तो था नहीं, स्टिल अलाउड. Hence there is no infirmity in the order of the AO. AO की कोई गलती नहीं है, everything is full proof, allowed. It's all question and answers today. Whenever you feel you need a break, let me know. Otherwise, we'll continue. Even if we finish early, I'm not introducing math today. We will start afresh tomorrow. Okay. ये भी दो बार आ चुका है. Examine critically. Can the AO issue notice under 147 to reopen the same assessment order on the same ground for which CIT notice has 263 में जो जा रहे हैं ना, जो ऊपर चले गए, 147 is at this level. Those who have already gone up, 263, 264, your ITET, appeals high court, for that also is 147 applicable? Answer is no. Those cases, income escaping assessment cannot be done. Check karo ek baar. Where AO has reason to believe that any income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment, he may assess or reassess such income other than income involving matters which are the subject matter, and also any other income which has escaped assessment. Okay. AO does not have the power to assess income 147 for matters which are going for revision above. कोई power नहीं है AO. ठीक है, चलो next. X filed return declaring 325. He's been assessed in 143.3. Okay. Unexplained cash credit for the want of confirmation. You know, in our book, we show cash credit entries. Cash received from Ramlal. Confirmation lao to pata chala Ramlal koi hai nahi. Black money hai aapka. So department said, no, this is income escaping. Second, disallowance in respect of traveling expense for tour to Chennai. Mr. X fails to establish that expenditure business के लिए था. पता चला आप चेन्नई होके पौंडीचेरी घूमने चले गए, and you are showing that expense as your business expense. So you need to prove. So for this, at a later stage, he served a notice of 148, and during the course of reassessment, AO sought to add this. See, this is such a ridiculous thing. Loudly 147 is shouting कि 148 में नोटिस तभी भेजो जब कोई इनकम हाइड हुई है. This is not income. These are the mistakes on the top of the record. कि ये जो आपने बुक्स में डेबिट किया ये तो अलाउड डिसअलाउड की जगलिंग है. This is like allowed, disallowed. This is not 148. So during the course of hearing, SSC produced confirmation from creditors and requested that and to allow deduction of traveling expense. Discuss the validity. पहली बात तो for these kind of the cases कि there is a cash credit or traveling expense are not allowed, can you do the assessment in 147? Should you issue the notice in 148? Answer is no. 147 is if some income has escaped assessment. This traveling expense तो allowed disallowed अगर लग रहा है तो you rectify the order. अब सीधा उनको नोटिस भेज दो, डिमांड रेज कर दो. Follow? So no, this kind of cases are not allowed in 148, 147. देखो क्वेश्चन क्या है. Discuss the validity of the contention raised by SS. SSC is saying ये allow करो वो allow. अरे why we should allow? The object of reopening, I think this is a very in-depth question. एक बार पढ़ लो बस है. But I thought it's good, so I've kept. The object of reopening an assessment is only to bring tax on income which has escaped assessment. Okay. And not to give any further relief. Income, see, one thing you should write. 147 में income should increase. If they allow this, so your income will come down. Can you get a refund in 147? Sure, no. 147 is a very harsh provision. कुछ इनकम आपने छुपाए हैं, रेड हुआ, सर्वे हुआ, कुछ छुपाए हैं, now you have to pay tax. Simple. So can you use for these petty cases? Answer is no. The object of reopening under 147 is only to bring to tax an income. हाँ, थोड़ा पेशेंसली पढ़ो, और अगर कहीं लग रहा है मैम only 50% we have followed, keep messaging me, don't worry. As a teacher, I know कि there are some technical languages, jargon words I am using. You can simplify and write in points in exam. The object and reopening assessment is only to bring to tax an income which has escaped assessment and not to give any further relief to the SSC. Hence, 147 original total income should not be allowed to come down under 147, cannot be used as review, and hence SSC cannot seek view concluded item. It has been held in the SBI case that ठीक है, ये cases याद रहे तो ठीक है, नहीं तो no problem. A fresh claim can be made during course of reassessment provided such claim cannot have the effect of reducing the income or claim relates to income to be taxed. Are you getting? आप तो बोल रहे हो ट्रैवलिंग एक्सपेंस अलाउ करो, अनएक्सप्लेन कैश क्रेडिट अलाउ करो, तो यू आर ट्राइंग टू रिड्यूस योर इनकम. यू कांट गो फॉर 147. Unexplained cash credit now explained through creditors not allowable. Reassessment proceedings cannot be considered as review proceedings and the claim does not relate to income under reassessment. Traveling expense, since expenditure is disallowed under 143.3, it is not possible to seek a review. So please allow this now in 140. 147 is not for, reopening these cases. Simply your income has escaped assessment, then they will go for 147. ठीक है? Did you follow this case? Someone like 50%. Read at home, and within 24 hours if you read, no, sure you will follow. Assessment was made under 143.1. AO has received a notice, SSC has received a notice for reopening assessment. Can SSC challenge the legality of notice on the ground of change of opinion? Huh? First of all, 143.1 में जो मिलता है ना, that is just an acknowledgement, intimation कि okay, your return is accepted. It is not an assessment. समझ में आ रहा है? How many assessment we have seen? Scrutiny, best judgment, and income escaping assessment. So intimation under 143.1 cannot be considered as completion of assessment in respect of any previous year. Further, 147 provides for income escaping assessment even when the original assessment under other section has been carried out, provided notice is served. Okay. Hence, SSC cannot contest the validity of the notice based on the change of opinion. 143.1 cannot be concluded as a, see 143.1 में हो चुका है तो अब क्यों वापस 147 में खोल रहे? Can you ask the yo? No, because 143.1 is just an intimation from the department कि okay, we have accepted. It's not an assessment. So they can open if they wish. Check the next one. Some questions are simple, some are little technical. I hope you all are following. Chalo. XYZ Limited is engaged in manufacturing some cables, imported a car from Japan, 53 lakhs. car is used continuously for business purpose, so we can claim 15% depreciation on motor car. It comes under plant and machinery. The AO in the month of June 21, while completing scrutiny assessment, noted that company had claimed 25% depreciation. 25% कोई rate ही नहीं है. Motor car, plant and machinery and all, it is 15%. So the assessment year 19 and 20 on this car, therefore he issued a notice under 148. Examine the validity of the action of the A. केस समझ में आ रहा है आपको? You have purchased a car. You should have depreciated 15%. You depreciated 25%. Because you depreciated 25%, higher expenditure you are claiming, तो थोड़ी income रह गई बताना. तो they want to go in 147. You know, 147 is not that lenient. जिसको अच्छा लगे आ जाओ. No. This is like mistake apparent from the record. This is a silly clerical mistake that instead of charging depreciation 15%, you have charged 25%. Don't go for 147 and all. Followed? So what is the answer for this? In ICICI Bank Limited versus KJ, it was held that AO allowed higher rate of depreciation based on all the material fact. Subsequently, AO cannot reopen the case under 147 because it's not the failure on the part of SSE to disclose. SSE ने तो बता दिया और AO ने assessment कर लिया. And SSE didn't hide anything. Assessing officer can also try rectify the mistake in 154. Once the order is passed by department, can it be rectified within 3-4 years time limit and all? Yes. So this is mistake apparent from the record. They can make an application, but they can't go for 147. Okay, right. Okay, till 8th question we have completed. We'll continue. Ask me if you have any doubt. 9th and 10th I'll do later. Not much important. Let us do the 11th one first. 9th and 10th are same also. I'll tell you what it is. The assessment of AK Limited for 17 and 18. 1 minute. I think some dates I had to change in this one. Yeah. The assessment of AK Limited was reopened in 148 and notice by AO was issued under 142.1 requiring the SHT to file a return after recording reason in its internal order sheet that ineligible depreciation to the extent of 10 crore has been claimed. Zyada depreciation le liya. The SSE filed its return in response to the notice. An authorized representative also find a power of attorney in his favor. SSE sought reason for reopening assessment which was overlooked by AO. See, when you open the case in 147, you have to give the SSE opportunity of being heard and why you have reopened the case. मतलब आपके पास क्या solid information? I told you, 5 cases are there. So what is the solid information for which you have opened? The SSE sought reason for reopening assessment which was overlooked by AO under the pretext that it is procedural matter, and reason was shown to the authorized representative. The AO completed the assessment confirming addition. As a tax consultant, examine the order passed. Following or not? So some cases reopened and they are feeling 10 crore, you have claimed excess depreciation, and for that assessment also they have done. Okay. And assessment is completed also by AO in 147. Now, whenever 147 comes, we need to check income escaping assessment. वो कहाँ है? Where is the income escaping assessment? So under 147, if the AO has reason to believe that any income chargeable to tax has escaped assessment, then he can give the notice and take the permission of higher authority and follow all the procedure which is taught in 148. But before serving notice, AO should give the opportunity of being heard. As per 147, it was held that AO fails to provide copy of reasons recorded till completion of assessment. After the SSC is filed return, reassessment is invalid. AO is not giving opportunity of being heard only to the SSC and is just doing the assessment on his own कि depreciation ज़्यादा claim कर लिया, disallow किया और यह ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. In the given case, the assessment for 1819 was reopened. It's not 1819, 1 minute, 1718. Change it. Assessment of 1718 was reopened and a notice by AO was issued requiring the SSC to file a return of income after recording reasons in its internal order sheet that ineligible depreciation to the extent of 10 crore has been claimed. The SSC files its return and the SSC has sought reason for reopening which was overlooked. AO is not required to share the reason to believe before filing of return of income, but after filing of the return, AO is bound to share the reason to believe if the same is demanded by SSC. पहले तो नहीं, but once it is done, they have to share कि what was आपके पास ऐसी क्या information थी कि you started with 147. Otherwise, the whole proceeding is considered invalid. Hence, in the given case, order of the AO is invalid because AO didn't give opportunity. They themselves only raised the notice. They only said 10 crore depreciation is overcharged. They only reassess the income and raise the demand notice, but they didn't give the opportunity of being heard to the SSC or his authorized representative. Okay. Sometimes representatives are there if the SSC is not there. Hence, this order is invalid. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? If there is something wrong, give the opportunity of being heard, na? चलो, this question is again repeated 12th one. एक किया था ना हमने किया, the person has land in Canada, some house in New Jersey, shop in Finland and all, and he's been served a notice for 1516 based on information that he has disclosed the source of income for assessment year in his income tax return. Are the notice tenable in the law? Can they give the notice? You have to check कि 10 years का time होना चाहिए. तो when did you purchase the land? September 14. So 14-15, so assessment year 15-16. 15-16 और अभी चल रहा है 20-23. 10 years are not over. So can we issue the notice? 15-16 plus 10 years? Yes. April 15. The assessment year 16-17. वहां से 10 years तक. June 15. Same. 16-17. Are you all getting? If you have a signing authority outside India, notice for reassessment can be issued for 10 years. That's what is the answer. Answer if you want, write down. Notice can be issued. I'm dictating, you all write down please. Notice can be issued. Notice can be issued for 10 years as SSC is having signing authority outside India. SSC is having signing authority outside India He can be issued notice, but 10 years से पुराना केस तो नहीं open होगा. That's what is the answer. See, some of you maybe, ma'am, can we leave this chapter? लग रहा है थोड़ा सा technical है. ठीक है, language I have given, you can simplify and write in points, but the procedure is very easy. One-liner questions are also asked. The assessing officer accepted return filed by RL for particular year. However, AO initiated reassessment. He had reason to believe that some income has escaped assessment. Okay. Due to claim allowance of club fees, gifts and all. Okay. He issued notice. However, after sufficient inquiry made by him, he came to conclusion that no notice were required on account of these expenses, but instead he made addition of disallowance under 14A and all. Assessing officer is of opinion that 147 permits him to assess income which came to notice in course, even though they said issues were not a part. Is the action of AO valid? Answer is yes, very much valid. Same question. Original assessment dropped. Yes. What would be right the answer for this? Did you understand the question? AO ने raise किया है कि कुछ, they have claimed certain leave and all which should, but then AO disallowed other things also. And he said, ye bhi sab, he has got a reason to believe. So can it be done? Yes. Write down. Even if original matter is dropped, जो ऊपर वाला matter है, it is dropped. AO is empowered to add other income. Even if no notice is issued for same. Original matter is dropped. या चल भी रहा है, पर और भी something more is caught up. Can they cover that also? See, they are asking you only, even though they said this issue was not a part of the reason. When I've sent you the notice, I'm saying I'm going to add this and all. So can we add other things? Yes. Even if it is not covered in the notice? Yes. Next question. Only few questions answers are not there. I'm making you write. I hope even if my writing is not clear, आप लोग सुन के लिख रहे हैं. Examine critically in the context of act. Can the AO issue notice under 148 to reopen the same assessment on the ground for which CIT has issued notice? Answer is no. Cases which has gone in 263, 264, appeals, 254, ITET and all, no, they cannot be revised. AO cannot assess these income in 148 if they are already gone to higher authorities. No. One line answer. Assessment was made under 143.1. SSC has received a notice under 148 for reopening. Can the SSC challenge the legality of the notice? on the ground of change of opinion. आपको समझ में आ रहा है क्या है? Assessment was made in 143(1). Huh? That's not actually an assessment. I always say it's just an intimation. Now SSC has received notice under 148. Can SSC challenge? Already my assessment was done. Answer is no. 143(1) is only an intimation. You know, it's like an acknowledgement, an intimation. 143(1) is only an intimation. Are you all getting? It cannot be assessed as completion of assessment. Ma'am, already assessment to complete हो गया 143(1) में, तो I am saying 143(1) is just intimation. Okay, whatever you have submitted, we are accepting. If there is any arithmetical error and all, we will do the correction. Okay, chalo. You cannot say कि 143(1) में पूरा assessment ही खत्म हो गया है. चलो, now all simple cases are there. This trust related case एक बार पूछ चुके हैं for 6 marks and the story is very simple. I'll tell you. What are we doing? Huh? If assessment we are talking, तो मैम रूटीन एसएससी का असेसमेंट होगा तो ट्रस्ट का भी असेसमेंट होगा. ठीक है. अब जब ट्रस्ट का असेसमेंट होगा, लिसन ऑल ऑफ यू, we came to know that the trust is not working for the object of the trust. Who? We. While doing the assessment, can we say no, your exemption is denied, your registration is cancelled? No, please. AO doesn't have power of doing this. This is all explained to you in the assessment procedure only. फिर भी फिर से सुन लो ध्यान से. AO can intimate to the central government, because who has given the permission to central government कि यहाँ आप गौशाला चलाओ, आप ये करो, आप सिर्फ ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ ट्रस्ट के लिए वर्क करो, फाइल योर रिटर्न इन 139(4)A and claim exemption in 11(12). Who has given all that permission? Central government, chief commissioner. Then AO cannot cancel the exemption and registration of the trust on the basis the trust is not working for object of the trust. He can just intimate to central government, wait, let the central government's order come ki okay, we also check this trust is not working for the object of trust और इसका assessment हम cancel कर दे रहे हैं, exemption. Then AO will assess the income in routine. Take a pause, listen all of you, write it down, refer section 1310, newly added in trust. Last class I have discussed. If your trust is not getting exemption for any reason, how the trust income is going to be checked? Routine. Income and expenses slab rate से tax भरना होगा. Ma'am, this trust donated to another trust, can we get a deduction? No. Many things are restricted. Okay. So please remember, AO is never having a power to cancel the registration or cancel the exemption benefit to trust. It will inform to the authority, central government commissioner and all, and they will do. ठीक है? Let us see. I just explained orally. It's a very interesting case. Teach Well Education is approved trust. You know, trust are approved either under 1023C or 11 and 12. These are first regime, second regime आपको बताया था, which runs various educational institute. During the course 143, AO finds that 143 कौन सा assessment है? Anyone in the class? 10 times I have told you until now. 143(3), 144, 147. These are the three assessment. 143(3) कौन सा assessment है? Yes. Message in the chat box. 143.3 is which assessment? Scrutiny. Very good, very good. Thank you for the response. 143 is scrutiny assessment. So while scrutiny assessment, the AO finds that trust is carrying out activities. You know, scrutiny kab hota hai? They call for detailed books of accounts. They may get it audited and validation officer. So detail checking ke waqt pata chala ki it is not working for object of trust. And hence AO wants to pass an order without giving exemption, to which SSC objects you are required to examine. As per the first proviso, under 1023 request, one is return of income, compulsory dena padega. The AO shall not pass an order under 143.3 without giving effect to provisions of section 10 unless he is of the review that activities of institution are being carried out and he has intimated to central government or prescribed authority. Prescribed authority is generally the commissioner who gives the form. So have you intimated the central government? Yes, which had earlier approved. Okay. And the approval granted to institution is withdrawn. Now you assess trust ka income in routine without giving the exemption. Therefore, in the opposite case, AO can pass an assessment order without giving exemption under section 10, which is an educational institute, only if it has intimated contravention. Okay. As per explanation 1 to 153, in case AO intimates contravention to central government and the period commencing from date of intimation, and the ending on the date on which order is received cancelling the registration, that will be excluded. See, for scrutiny assessment, we have got some time limits. स्क्रूटनी का असेसमेंट चल रहा है तो उसमें टाइम लिमिट बोला है आपको, है ना? So when the scrutiny assessment, you are having the time limits. In that time limit, you want to do assessment, you come to know trust is not working for the object of the trust. Please remember, this can be asked as a separate question. You doesn't have the power to cancel registration or to cancel exemption. हम कौन है करने वाले? Our duty is intimate to central government and wait for the approval कि हाँ इनका exemption cancel हो गया है. Now, without this exemption, like under section 1310, in routine you assess the income. Okay, time we intimated to the authorities that this trust is not working for object of trust. Do something. And they said, wait. And by the time they gave order, okay, we have cancelled the registration. That time is excluded for me. ठीक है? And if that period of passing the order after we have received the clarification from the कि trust का registration cancel हो गया, if that period is less than 60 days, it is extended to 60 days. चलो, next. AO issues a notice under 142.1 on the SSC April 22, calling upon him to file the return for 22-23. In response to said notice, the SSC furnishes a return of loss and claimed carry forward of the business loss, unabsorbed depreciation. इतना अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, लॉस के ड्यू डेट सब मालूम होना है. What is your financial year? Please write down 21-22. इसका assessment year कब है? 22-23. Last date of filing the return, belated return be 31st December 23. Okay, this case is clear. 1 second, 1 second. So, 1 second, date, I'm just checking if there is a mistake or not. You all know that return of loss should be filed on time to carry forward the benefit. Business loss and unabsorbed can be carried forward. Business loss or a subset house property and unabsorbed depreciation can be carried forward for. State whether the assessee would be entitled to carry forward or loss. 1 second. Assessing officer issues notice under 142(1) on assessee on 24th April, calling upon him to file the return for assessment year 22-23. Assessment year 22-23 का रिटर्न तो दिसंबर 22 तक ही देना था ना, असेसमेंट ईयर के दिसंबर तक ही देना है. And they are doing the assessment in April 23 only. Please let it be April 23. Then only it will come correct. However, we change the date. Sometimes even we can go wrong. Just go रहने दो. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? Whenever financial year is over, assessment year December 22 तक time है. And that too, if your due date is July 22. So if you want to carry forward the loss, it's necessary to file your return on time. If you have not filed your return on time, and then in 142(1) notice, AO is asking you to file the return. तो चलो अब backdated return तो भर रहे हैं ना, धक्का मार के loss भी डाल दो. Can you do so? Answer is no. Understand this, please. What is 142(1)? Notice for the assessee to file his return. He may not have filed the return. Skip हो गया होगा. तो 142(1) notice में we ask assessee to file the return. But already due date of filing the regular return is over. So just because I am filing new return now under 142(1), can I say अब return भर ही रहे हैं, चलो ये losses भी set off कर लेते हैं? Answer is no. For carry forward of losses, it is necessary to file the return by July 22 or October 22 or whatever is according to the SSC the due date. Only unabsorbed depreciation can be carried forward for indefinite period, even if you have filed the return late. So this is what is the logic for assessment procedure. एक बार पढ़ो, date correct है. So what is the question they are asking? State whether the assessee would be entitled to carry forward the loss. Answer is absolutely no. I feel this question is very important. Absolutely no. As per the provisions of 139(3), any person who has sustained loss under the profits and gains is allowed to carry forward such a loss only if he has filed the return of loss within time. Also, the provisions of, you have to file the return on time. Provisions of 80 specify that loss which has not been determined shall not be allowed to be carried forward. Okay? ये सब आप point में लिख सकते हो. Except there is no such condition for carry forward of house property loss and unabsorbed depreciation. In the given case, SSC has filed its return of loss in response to notice. As per the provision stated above, SSC furnished return in response to notice after due date. Therefore, the benefit of carry forward of loss is not available. At the most, he can carry forward unabsorbed depreciation. Question बहुत beautiful है. Return of income assessment procedure सब आ गया. Once again, your due date of filing the return is July 22. Okay? और अगर tax audit हो रहा है तो October 22. तब तक if you want your losses to be carried forward and set off in next year, you have to file the return on time. Time पे file करना पड़ेगा. Except in case of house property and unabsorbed depreciation, rest all the losses will lapse if you don't file the return on time. Maze say you didn't file the return in July 22. Now in April 23, AO is asking you to file the return against the notice 142(1) mein. Now can you say, as it is I am filing the return, let me put these losses not allowed. Clear? It's not allowed. Discuss the correctness and otherwise a fresh claim before AO can be made only by filing a revised return and not otherwise. Answer is yes. You cannot rectify. लिखो ये answer. You cannot rectify return by writing letter to AO. ये आ चुका है इसलिए मुझे dialogue भी याद है. 6 marks is the weightage of this topic. You want to take risk and leave to leave. Otherwise, watch this lecture again as a recording and score marks. These are the best hand-picked questions all from the past exams and from your material. देखो ये क्या बोल रहे हैं आपको. Sometimes I have filed the return, and if there is a silly mistake, I want to write a mail or a letter to you, sir, in that PPF claim by mistake 150 I took 15,000, can you rectify? No, please, you have to file revised return. और कोई तरीका ही नहीं है रिटर्न रिवाइज करने का because it's all faceless now. So no other procedure is available. ठीक है. चलो the next one. Assessing officer with the power vested in 120 to 140 to 2A, that is tax audit, has ordered to get the books audited. You know, another CA will be appointed by government, fees will be paid by government. Within 180 days, he will submit the report to client. SSA and SSC will give to the AO. The company challenges this order on the ground that opportunity was not provided to them by AO prior to passing of such order. Yes, the correctness of action of the AO. AO का action correct नहीं है. AO's action not valid. You have to give the opportunity of being heard. Yes, opportunity of being heard should be given to AO. Sorry, to SSE. To SSE. If you are getting books of accounts audited, you have to tell to SSE that why we should not give your audit for re-audit, even if income tax audit is done, GST audit is done, and so person will do the audit and submit us the report within 180 days. So bilkul you have to give the opportunity of being heard. Everywhere you have to give the opportunity. Koi escape hi nahi. Examine the correctness or otherwise of the following statement. Assessing officer is bound to allow the set off of brought forward loss even if SSA has not claimed the same in return. Answer is no, not allowed. Not allowed. Unless you do it, unless done within time limit given in section 139(3). If it is within, not like unobserved depreciation, ठीक है, ये allow कर देगा अगर आप भूल भी गए, सब तो losses he will not allow. Last ones now, 2-3 questions are left. Discuss the correctness of assessment reopened in 147 cannot be dropped. Answer is no, it can be dropped. This too, I started my class today. Sometimes already your case has gone for revision and other, and you are already ending up paying more tax than what you must have paid in reassessment in 147. Then your case can be dropped. The proposition is not correct. Under 152, where assessment is reopened, SSE may, if he has not impugned any part of the original order for that year, 246 to 248, claimed that proceedings be dropped for following two reasons. He has been assessed an amount to sum not lower than what would be rightly eligible. His assessment or computation has been properly made. रीअसेसमेंट कहीं भी समझा, मतलब ऑलरेडी आपका रीअसेसमेंट कहीं हो रहा है और हायर अथॉरिटीज के पास, and you are already ending up paying more tax, then can your assessment under 147 be dropped even if they have solid proof that income has escaped assessment? Answer is yes, drop hoga. Acha question, expectation of this question also coming in the exam, very important. It can be dropped. If an order of assessment, AO noticed a mistake for which application under 154 was moved, an order was rectified. Subsequently, AO moved further application under 154 which was rejected on the ground. See, sometimes 154 को इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. 143 and 144. 154 is if any order is passed by department and if there is any mistake apparent from the record, you know, some दिख के आ रहा है कि ये गलती हो गई, ये ऑर्डर गलत पास कर दिया, can the AO rectify the order? Yes. Okay, rectified order can be rectified, yes, but within the time, 3 years, 4 years. It has been held in case of Hindwire Industries versus CIT that order once amendment can also be rectified, provided mistake is there from the apparent of the record. Apex Court enlarged the scope of the words used in that section by stating that it does not necessarily mean original order. It could be any order including amendment or rectified order. ठीक है, कोई भी order है. If there is any mistake apparent from the record दिख के आ रहा है, तो you can correct it in 154. Issue and जो मैंने आपको notice of demand बताया था ना, यहाँ पे सिर्फ लिख के रख लो. I think earlier I had printed here and I have printed in another chapter. But whenever they do the, you know, rectification of the order, they may reissue the demand और पैसे मांगेंगे आपको टैक्स के under 156. Last one, the issue of notice under 143 to scrutiny notice for making regular assessment. Okay. Can failure on the part of AO to issue notice 143 be treated as a defect curable under 292B? Oh, 292B में क्या है? नोटिस टाइम पे नहीं दिया, गलत नाम पे दिया, गलत मैनर में दिया, still the assessment is valid. But here it is saying failure on the part of the AO. AO ने notice ही नहीं दिया. Then can directly they do the assessment? Answer is no, not valid. If the SSC participates in assessment discussed with the aid of Supreme, आपको केस समझ में आया? हाँ, स्क्रूटनी का नोटिस देना है और नोटिस देना ही भूल गए एंड डिपार्टमेंट ने तो जो भी एक्शन लिया, एसएससी ने स्क्रूटनी में रिस्पॉन्ड कर लिया, रिटर्न फाइल कर लिया, तो कैन वी एक्सक्यूज दिस इन 292BB? नोटिस इज नॉट सर्व टू प्रॉपर पर्सन, प्रॉपर प्लेस, प्रॉपर टाइम, चलो जाने दो, फिर भी असेसमेंट तो ठीक है, बट अरे नोटिस ही सर्व नहीं किया तो हाउ इज इट प्रॉपर? इशू ऑफ नोटिस इज मैंडेटरी for making regular assessment. 292B is a deeming provision that seeks to cure defects in any notice issued under any provisions. 292BB provides that where the SSA has participated in the proceedings, any notice which is required to be served shall be deemed to have been duly served and shall be precluded. ठीक है, ठीक से serve नहीं किया, if it is not served upon him, not served on time, not served in proper manner, ठीक है. Issuance as to whether the AO's omission to issue notice is a defect curable. Okay. Supreme Court observed that the law on the point as regard applicability of requirement of issue of notice is quite clear. स्क्रूटनी असेसमेंट कंप्लीट कर लिया और नोटिस ही इशू नहीं की तो वो वैलिड नहीं है. हाँ, नोटिस में गलती है तो वो वैलिड है. According to 292BB, if SSC has participated in the proceedings by way of legal fiction notice issued would be deemed to be valid even if there is infractions. The scope of provision is to make service of notice having certain mistakes. Okay. It is to be noted this section does not save complete absence of notice. Pumping heart of this answer. Notice ही नहीं भेजे. Section 292 BB to apply notice must have been given. It is only the infirmities in the notice. This section is not intended to cure complete absence of notice itself. So Supreme Court accordingly held that non-issuance of notice is not a curable defect under 292 BB and the assessment will not be valid. Check all the questions once. Are all the questions clear? For me, it is also very tough and energetic class to take this kind of the class. Gear up with all your calculators for the problems which we are going to solve tomorrow in math. मैथ के बहुत अच्छे प्रॉब्लम्स करेंगे और इम्पोर्टेंट है हर एग्जाम में एटलीस्ट 8 मार्क्स प्रॉब्लम कम्स विथ मैथ ठीक है so that's all for today if you have any doubt in question number 1 to 23 don't even wait till tomorrow's class you can message me in the WhatsApp group through which we are connected okay ma'am re-explain this question and do read again इसके लिए आपको रिपीटेडली रीड क्वेश्चन क्या था 292 डबल बी हाँ हाँ नोटिस में गलती है जाने दो चलने दो होते रहता है अरे बट नोटिस ही नहीं भेजा और सीधा स्क्रूटनी किया फॉर स्क्रूटनी सेंडिंग द नोटिस इज मैंडेटरी फॉर स्क्रूटनी फाइलिंग द रिटर्न इज आल्सो मैंडेटरी बेस्ट जजमेंट असेसमेंट रिटर्न नॉट फाइल्ड स्टिल असेसमेंट कैन बी डन फॉर 147 फाइलिंग द रिटर्न मैंडेटरी 147 income cannot reduce it has to increase scrutiny income बढ़ेगी best judgment assessment में भी they cannot reduce the sorry scrutiny में income बढ़ भी सकती है कम भी हो सकती है sorry best judgment assessment they are doing because they want you to pay tax we asked you to file the return you didn't file audit करो नहीं की to the best हमको जो सीख रहे हैं ये आपका डिमांड नोटिस best judgment assessment no refund no reduction in tax income escaping assessment no reduction clear so like this overall you try to remember and I agree with all of you all are doing other 3 subjects also so instead of putting all the efforts to ma'am ne bole 23 question khatam karo mat karo 5 questions stick on done till here next another time another day koi aur time pe 6th से 8th stick on done till here bit में करो हो जाएगा till I do math and practical questions anytime you can ask me doubt that's all for today do you have any doubts or want to say anything this month I'm excusing some of you joining late also because all is going on schedule fasting and all Ramzan is going on then let us start on time so that we get more time and completing the portion on time is for you all so that you get quality good time to do revision and tell me why some of you have not written the exam बहुत अच्छा पेपर बनाया ट्रस्ट का और साथ में रिटर्न ऑफ इनकम का एक मार्क के क्वेश्चन है एमसीक्यूज हैं कुछ कमेंटिंग क्वेश्चन है एक केस स्टडी है so prepare and write now whatever you know that will give you a super mindset for final exam that's what I can say and today Monday whatever portion we have completed that's the exam on next Sunday assessment procedure along with DRP full-fledged chapter wise third exam those who have not written first and second complete writing it please okay that's all for today thank you so much bye bye all of you